blunt, doobie, wacky tobacco, herbal refreshment, hippie lettuce, weed. Whatever name you give it, marijuana is a hot topic in this day and age. In fact, the Supreme Court is dealing with just such an issue in Brandon Coates versus Dish Network. Brandon Coates of Colorado was prescribed medical marijuana, which has been legal in Colorado since 2000, after a serious car accident left him a quadriplegic and suffering from seizures and spasms. Now, Dish Network fired Brandon Coates in 2010 after a cheek swab drug test revealed an inactive form of THC in his system. So this brings about the question, what effect will the legalization of marijuana have on the workplace? Now, if pot isn't illegal, should it be considered a lawful activity as that employers can't fire you for? In addition, if an employee is willing and able to work and works efficiently, should their choice of medication be a determining factor in allowing them to work? And also, simply, where's the line between state law and federal law? Now, we as a nation and a society have created so many blurred lines that we've forgotten how our forefathers meant for this country to be ran. The states were designed to govern themselves under the umbrella of the federal government's guidance, not control. Now, Dish Network is a national company, and they say that they will not recognize the individual state law. However, then they contradict themselves by recognizing individual state tax and traffic laws, for example. Now, Colorado chose to make a plant legal to consume for medical necessity and recreational use. Dish Network should not be able to override an individual's choice to partake in a legal activity as defined by the state's constitution. Just as the federal government should not dictate state affairs, employers should not dictate the affairs of their employees while off duty. Now, since the consumption is legal, the activity should be lawful. Employers typically don't care if you've paid your taxes every year. They don't care if you smoke cigarettes, even though cigarettes kill more people per year than cars do. And both of those activities are legal. Some employees will even overlook misdemeanors and felonies if you have a good enough explanation. Now, with that in mind, when does it become an issue for a person to do something legally and take a medication legally while off the clock? It's the taboo that surrounds pot, similarly to the taboo that surrounded alcohol in the Prohibition era. And this taboo surrounding pot is one cause of unemployment. If an employee is willing and able to work and works efficiently, their choice of medication should not be a determining factor in the hiring and firing process. Brandon Coates used medical marijuana to control his spasms and seizures, and which allowed him to become a productive member of the Dish Network team. Think about the number of people that abuse prescription medicines such as oxycodone and Vicodin. If they are drug tested, but they can prove that they have a prescription, statistically, they're still allowed to maintain their employment. Brandon Coates had a prescription for his medicine and was not using said medicine at the time of working, but yet was fired for partaking in this legal activity. The Supreme Court's ruling could be the Roe versus Wade of our generation. I realize that sounds far-fetched, but just imagine the impact that this ruling will have on the employee-employer relationship, let alone the state and federal government's relationship. This could mean that pot could no longer appear on a drug test. It could also mean that employers will have to start looking at the productivity and performance during hiring and firing process instead of the employee or potential employee's extracurricular activities. It'll be interesting to see what'll happen in the workplace when the smoke clears, pun intended. But only time will tell what happens to Brandon, and with any luck, the Supreme Court will find a happy resolution, one that allows Brandon to continue the medicine he needs to live a fulfilling life and contribute to society.